Did you miss me? Did you miss me? Hello. What's up, everybody? We're back, baby. Woo. Oh my God. One day, 15 hours, 56 minutes, and 40 seconds away. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so confused. I am so confused. I don't know what to do. What's up, Chris? Hey, Skylord Gecko. You've been playing with a primalist. You know what, Chris? I'm actually going to run that mana stacking sort that you linked in Discord. I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to try that mana stacking. We'll see how it goes. The servers are going to be down. God, I'm really glad I...
Thanks for the sub.
Oh my God. Skylord, thank you for the sub, man. Thank you for the tier 1 sub. Thank you, thank you. Coming in hot. Wow, you're coming in hot. Thank you, Skylord Gecko. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support. That's very generous of you. Thank you. That one looks cool. If you try it on 1.0, it'll be weird, though, because it's 1.1 ready. Yeah. Look, anything we try now is, you know, it's going to be different come Tuesday, right? So, anyway, downtime notice. Online servers will be taken down 24 hours prior to patch starting Monday, July 8th at 11 Central. 1.1 patch notes. So I guess tomorrow we're gonna have to play offline. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. So I got level 90. So 92 looks like the highest, right? What's up, Dante? Skylord Gecko, thank you for gifting a tier 1 to Oscar SC. Skylord Gecko, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Oscar SC. Oscar, if you're not lurking, please thank Skylord Gecko for his generosity. Skylord Gecko, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Okay, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna be like, okay, like, do I have to delete any characters? Like, what's the max I can have here? Yeah, thank you, Skylord Gecko. Appreciate the support, man. Very generous of you. Thank you. Thank you. I saw a comment in that build saying it won't work as intended until the patch drops. Okay, so what can I test? I want to test. What I was going to do was... Oh, shit. I could do... I guess I can do my Frost Claw. Oh, that's a good one. Create new online character. You know what? Sammy Claus. No, Dante. You want to know something? No. Can I go back? Yeah, go back. I actually have an LE61 character. Where is he? There he is. Look at here. I actually named... I wanted to grab the name before anyone else grabbed it. And so I have a rogue LE61. Oh, God. All right. Create a new online character. Each... Sammy Claus. Normal. What is this again? This character will not be able to party with nor obtain items found by other players. Okay, we'll keep it open. Usually I do that, but we'll keep it open. We'll do normal. Oh, so you don't know what classes this game has, Skylord? Oh my God. So there are... Okay, Skylord Gecko, I'm going to give you a little intro to the game. Hey, Ben Village. How are you, Ben? Okay, so last Epoch has five classes. Each class has 3 masteries. No, just bought it. Okay, so Sentinel. Okay, and these are all the key skills, and then you can do a Void Knight. These are the masteries: Void Knight, Forged Guard, and Paladin. Each mastery has its skills. Okay, all right, so you will pick a mastery. Whatever mastery you pick, the skill tree associated with that that mastery, you can literally pick every skill on that mastery skill bar. The other 2 masteries, you can pick just, I think, half of them or a quarter of them, I forget. You can't go the whole skill bar. So it's really cool. Okay, so Sentinel has Void Knight, Forge Guard, and Paladin. Then we have the Rogue, which has Blade Dancer, Marksman, and Falconer. Falconer is a new mastery that came in 1.0. Then we have the Mage, which can master in Sorcerer, Spellblade, and Ruin Master. Then we have the Primalist, which can master in Beastmaster, Shaman, and Druid. And then we have the Acolyte. Ooh, another good build. Necromancer, Mastery in Necromancer, Lich, and Warlock. And Warlock is a new, was a new mastery introduced in 1.0. So you have 5 classes, 15 masteries, in 3 in each that you can pick. Pretty cool. Yep, half the skills on the other 2. Okay, cool. Thank you, Chris. All right, back. Did I end up making that guy? No, Sammy Blades. You know where you're going? Where are you going, Gecko? Where are you going? Create a new online character, right? What was it? Sammy Claus is what I named it. So looks like I didn't save it. Okay. Let's go. Sammy Claus. Normal, go. Warlock, good choice.
In the beginning,
Good choice.
there was darkness. Only the terror, myself, and the void. I was content with nothing. She dreamt of light, of life, of humanity. We disagreed. And yet, in her world, there were gods. Mujasa of the desert, Lagon of the sea, Rye of the endless skies, and Heorot of the frozen tundra. But fate stole Ekera away. Without her, there was conflict, then wars. In the end, it was Rye who sought to outshine the sun that would pull the world into his flame.
These roads are not kind to my bones, but I must hurry. Welrin is still a few days away.
Has anyone died here? Be honest. Be honest. Has anyone died here? Be honest, chat. You almost died earlier?
Aski wishes to destroy us and steal Atera's legacy.
Well, give it some time. I still haven't made it yet, so who knows? This Phoenix sometimes kills me. Just saying. Oh my god. See? Oh my god, I missed this game. Oh. Hello. I hate when I'm in between games and I have to switch like between, you know, 1, 2. When you got to go from QWETR to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's kind of annoying. Oh yeah, that's right. You guys remember when 1.0 came, when it launched? And we were sitting in these loading screen. Oh my god, all the memories, man. What the fuck? Everybody complaining. Are they fighting amongst themselves? They are, aren't they? It was a mess. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they learn from it for sure. Easy, boy. Easy.
When you arrived, it was mine. They were like, what? Are you good? Name's come. Let me watch you fight.
They have not added that yet. Passives. They have not added guilds and stuff like that yet, Skylord Gecko. It's something that we're all freaking dying, man. We all want it. It is on their radar though. Milan. How are you, Milan? Milan. What's your starter? Do you mind sharing what you're going to start with? I am going to do hardcore cycle, but it's not going to be my first character. I'm going to finish the game first on softcore cycle, and then I'm going to do hardcore. I don't want to make the same mistake I made in 1.0 where I literally wasted a lot of time playing hardcore and dying. So I wanna max out a character at least one.
And for what?
Oh shit. Last few days I've been hardcoring it. I will play Legacy mostly, I think. Really? All my favorites died. At the moment, I'm a 24 Lynch playing as a minion guy at the moment. Yeah, Warlock, man. I mean, the Acolyte. The Acolyte class is such a fun class to play. Where are we going here? I'm already lost. This is why we're doing it, so we can iron out all the kinks. There's really no way to get lost here. But leave it up to me. Is it an easy class to play? Yes, I would say so. I think the only non-beginner, non-friendly build is probably Ruin Master. At least that's what they say. Whoa!
Almost there. I'll see you ahead.
Frostclaw is pretty easy to start. Yeah, but Skylord Gecko is talking. He's gonna do. Looks like he's gonna do the Acolyte Warlock. So that's a pretty nice build as far as I'm concerned. The Warlock.
I propose.
Sounds like they're it's not speaking.
To be honest with you,
Head there now.
all three masteries, Skylord Gecko in the Acolyte class is, I think all of them are bangers, to be quite honest with you. Where am I going? Okay. No. Wow. Holy shit. It's gonna take me a while. I don't have anything open up. Spox! What's up? What is that? Oh, that's right.
If you're looking to buy from the Merchants Guild, before I go,
No, thank you.
Ah, you.
Oh.
You. Pardon me. I, Galila of Valcala, Would be honored to offer you an invitation to the Circle of Fortune.
The game looks crisper.
Just had one of their golf but not you could they do this, and our alliance is secure. We'll lend our aid to Heeeeeeeeellllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllllll10
At the moment, I'm gonna every master until I die. Only a few left. Tuna house salad tonight. Nice. There we go. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh my god.
Fools!
Oh yeah, I will be playing Psycho, yeah, for sure. Okay, you gotta get a little closer there, buddy. Chris is racing the ladder, yeah. Come on, Chris. Yeah, fresh start. Well, I got my first two builds for Cycle 2, Rogue Necro and BM Wolf Spec. Okay, this is where this is where things can get a little ugly. Hey. Oh, shit. Fuck. I got no more potions. Oh, we got two more left. Oh, we got two? Nice. God damn it. Fucking mage, man. They're always squishy. We got to be strategic here, chat. These guys just keep going. All right. Okay. Will you be having Twitch drops, or do I have to watch someone else on Tuesday? No, I will have Twitch drops. Absolutely. I hate this fucking guy. This guy is the worst. Right in the beginning too. You know how many times I died to this guy? Whoa! Look at this bullshit mechanic. Oh, and he's got this fucker. That's why it's important. Thank God. Hey, Super Tim. Do you find Last Epoch campaign not fully done? A bloker enjoying this game. Do I find Last Epoch's campaign not fully done? I think it's... No, I quite enjoy the campaign. It's got a good mix of everything. And welcome, hey Super Tim. Welcome, welcome. Let me give it one more shot. It's all good. Unless you meant something else. Blame it on autocorrect. Even though Twitch doesn't have autocorrect, if I'm not mistaken.
Fools.
I wouldn't say it's the best campaign. I don't think it's a hindrance to enjoy it. If anything, it's something to look forward to when they do add the other chapters, right? I think it's strategic in nature. They're thinking about future content, right? You know, one could argue that a lot of games do that, right? It's because of the lore. You know, they don't want to reveal the whole story, the whole world. Oh my God. Give me that potion. No, the level cap is still the same. There's no increase in level cap. No. It has not changed. 100. Actually, I really didn't even have to go here. Don't worry, Chad. I'll get there eventually. Whoa. Lucky stash. What's the end game like? Skylord Gecko, that was probably its Achilles heel. It's the monolith system. Where you're basically... I'm trying to compare it to some other game, but it definitely was lacking. This is why the Pinnacle boss and the Nemesis encounter has been added, because that's one area where this game took a lot of criticism. The game plays amazing, and if you're not familiar, wait till the quality of life features in this game are unbelievable. The crafting, the itemization, it's just killer. It's unbelievable. Wait till I start crafting. Like, it's so clean. This is going to be interesting. Oh, fuck. So, like, all the crafting materials, instead of occupying, you just transfer it, automatically go. Like, it's just little things. The quality of life, like I said, is awesome. Oh, shit. I fucked up there. I keep going back to 1, 2, 3. There's a Fool of Fools. Yeah, there's a lot of... The patch notes are massive. There are a lot of Glacier. Let me try it. They did a lot of class balancing in 1.1, so there's a lot. Too much to go over. But just read the patch notes. Make sure you got like an hour. Fuck's sakes. Oh my God. I'm dead. That's one's plus mana, eh? When do we get Frostclaw? Where is it? Jesus, 12. Fucking getting annihilated. Oh, they all came out.
Fools! Fools!
Whoa! Bye-bye. Hey, Dale. We're just ironing out the kinks, boys. We're just ironing out the kinks. Yeah, sure.
This way. You're here to help. Protect the drink. Tread carefully.
Oh, now I remember that skill. It's a mana hog, though.
safe. We'll reconvene outside. That should hold them. Well, tell you what. Let's get out of here first, and then I'll explain more.
You think Glacier gets a big buff in 1.1, Chris?
Why Orion is after us.
Yeah. That might be a good leveling strat. Mm-hmm. Fucking, I missed them. Magic caster seems to be hella squish. Well, it's a mage. Mage is traditionally squishier, right? But this game, but this build gets better and better and better. You just gotta get through the beginning, that's all. Ah, shit. Screwed up there. The game definitely runs smoother, man.
I'm sure you have questions. Who do the keepers adhere to?
Our slumbering mother.
Good. No.
Bye-bye. I always think that until I get to the monoliths.
I am not a man of many pockets.
Oh, wait a minute. Was I supposed to go there?
Eterra's blessing. Prayers be with you.
Right.
Oh shit. No, we can't do that.
Right.
Oh, where are my legendaries? No. Holy shit. Ah, fuck it. I'll just go with the normal shit. All right. You're going to have to get... Yes. You are definitely going to have to get used to it. Right off the top, you're going to have to shift down your fingers to the Q, W, E.
That must be an os. What happened? We there. Are you? Stay safe. Stay alive. And bring Balthus back.
He does use Elemental Nova, though. And he does use Flame Ward.
I cannot do that.
Let's see what that is all about. You had no idea you could Jurassic skills to the bar in the... Ooh. Yes. Yeah, this is gonna be, oh, shit. The mastery is going to be Ruin Mastery, yes, Milan. I'm thinking about doing Frost Claw. I don't know, we'll see. Dennis! What's up, Dennis? Look what we're playing, Dennis. Dennis? Oh shit. Have you decided what you're starting? What's your cycle starter? What the fuck? Bye-bye. Oh shit, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Not sure yet. I know. Same with me. I'm like, everyone's telling me about builds and stuff, and it's like, oh my god. That sounds good. That sounds good. Shit. Oh! Got the luck of the Irish. What do we get here? Minions. Minions have 40% chance to bleed on hit. No! It is 81 more health, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Oop. The gear drop rate is really good, and when you join, you can join the Circle of Fortune faction, Skylar Gecko, and you can increase the drop rates, the quality, etc., depending on as you rank up. Or you can join the Merchants Guild and you can buy and sell. I would say the drop rate is specific. I would say, guys, what do you think? You mostly get gear for, you know, for your class, your character, I would say. I'm trying to think, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of it's not 100% that way, but the Circle of Fortune faction is really good. It was unbelievable in 1.0. Am I fucking touching the right button here? Man, am I rusty. Okay, let me get past this. Another good source of information, I'll show you in a sec. Three more levels. 3 more levels. Then we start rocking and rolling. Okay, we already got those guys. Shit. That was a mistake. You're gonna give Forge Knight a shot? Yeah, the buff. I think a lot of people are gonna play Forge Knight just because it wasn't it wasn't the greatest. And a lot of people, I got the impression a lot of people wanted to play that. All right, let's go. You tried it when it was underwhelming? Wow, you have patience. It was wasn't it really bad? At least that's what I kept reading. People were shitting all over it. You just want to dual wield shields? Chris, you basically had to spec into it to get a certain node, like 3 passives. The rest were in 2 other masteries. Shit. Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
You're here for the Epoch.
Yes.
Reaching me was impressive, but it's mine. Core member wing.
Oh shit. he actually got me, the little shit. Ah, fuck, that's right. He fucking flies away. God damn it. You have a level 71 Forge Guard. Very average. Yeah. Well,
Speaking of,
if what everyone is saying is true, it may not be like that anymore. Only time will tell, I guess.
A Terra's blessing. Prayers be with you.
Okay. Let's go back to the mana situation.
Right.
Oh yes, I forgot to tell you. Here it is.
I cannot do that.
So if you wanna, for the new people that are here, and this is gonna be your first time going into LE, if you notice right beside the mana, there's this little, looks like an equal sign right beside your portal here. There's a menu. And obviously, you know, it's got everything here. But if you go to the game guide, it talks about unlocking skills, specialization, and there's a link. Oh, sorry, that's for chat. How implicits, affixes, rarity. So it gets into the whole uniques and sets, legendary items, how idols work. It's a really good, you know, crafting, right? Right, so these are all the crafting materials that you pick up, and when you hit transfer, they go into here. And there's ruins. This you need to learn what each one does. Links are starting to come out.
He's back. He's been quiet.
you're back. Lena, I'm so sorry.
Every boss so far seems to be using fire. Not every boss is going to be like that. Skylark Echo. This is...
Epoch's power. I'll finally be able to...
it's not always going to be like that. There's more than just fire. Believe me.
The shard seems to have taken me somewhere. Yet, my surroundings appear familiar.
Good amount of mana. Jesus. Actually, I did a poor job of really giving you a good tip. We'll do it when next time we're in town. It's really important for crafting. I'm gonna pick up everything. What's that? Pick up everything here. Of course. Am I, like, hitting the wrong fucking buttons? Oh, I don't have enough mana, that's why. Thank you. Okay, we'll pick that up for demonstration purposes. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Milan. The ward builds was getting out of hand. You know, people had 20, 30, 40,000 ward. So I like how they handled it. You know what? Up to 4,000, it's going to be like we're used to. And if you have more than 4,000 ward, the decay rate is going to be much quicker. So the drop off is going to be much more noticeable, and you're not going to be able to benefit from it as long. Basically endlessly almost. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look at this. Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. We're benefiting from the Circle of Fortune, guys. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Hello?
Fools!
No, but what they changed is how quickly ward like dies off. Like they call it the decaying. So when you have over 4,000k ward, if you have over 4,000, it's going to decay faster.
Terra watch over you. Gods.
Dextro, how are you, man? It kind of left a bad taste in my mouth how crazy Wraith Necro with Ward was. Well,
Yes.
people grind the shit out of games. So if there's a way to, you know, they're gonna find ways to min-max characters. It's just that simple. Fuck. Oop. Oh, I can't wait to get my skill that I want.
Minimus, run you stupid one. Leave me.
Save me. I need a coffee. I gotta get my coffees. Oh shit. What? Look at me go over for 3 gold. What a cheap ass. One more level. Come on, everybody. Come over here. Let's all be friends. Come on, buddy. Jump over here. Come on. Atta boy.
Gods be with you. Stay safe.
Fools.
That was a waste. go get this guy first. You definitely want to pick up all the glyphs, guys.
Farewell.
Nice. Let's go, boys. Frostclaw. Oh my God. Leave me the hell alone. I understand, sir. Woohoo! Mana cost. Check. What do I want to get rid of? No, I don't want to get rid of that. Definitely got to put it there. All right, if you insist. Hey, this is a, what? This is a cool Grim Dawn mod. Ooh, it's a little underwhelming right now.
What brings you here? Eterra's grace be with you.
Hey Dante, I wish you could see my GD build. Well, link it on Discord. Aaron. Ah, appreciate that, man. Thank you and welcome. Fools. Oh shit, I got that. Take that.
I am not a man of many pockets.
Oh shit. All right, let's go. I don't think they're... Ooh, let's go. I want more potions. Damn right, I want more potions. What the fuck happened there? Okay, did I miss anything?
I am not a man of many pockets.
Where do we gotta go again? I think it's this way, right?
Keep them off me.
Fools!
Only a little longer.
Oh, that was nice.
Help me.
You there, help me.
Keep them off me. Only a little longer. There, help me. Impressive. Go on. I'll be right behind you.
I am not a man of many pockets.
I am not a man of many pockets. I've never modded LE. No, I have not. No.
I see.
You. Now, the gods have long left this world, but we have little time. Please find Paniel.
How many do I have? I have 3. Damage enables lightning nova. Okay, we got 4. How many do we have? So I saw in 1.1 they're tweaking the Falcon to make a lot less noise. Oh, so I can't remember who I was telling, but so basically when you go into your mastery, this is if you don't select, like for example, Spellblade, I'm only allowed to, I can dive into these skills, right? I can't go past it. Once you master into this mastery, then it'll open up all. So it allows you to grab a little bit from Spellblade, Sorcerer, or Ruin Master, and then you pick one of these as your mastery. That's what I was trying to illustrate in the beginning there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Your feet.
So the other thing, when it comes, again, this is for the new people that are playing LE for the first time, because I know there's a couple in chat right now. So when you're salvaging gear, there's 2 things you can do. You can either salvage it or sell it. So gold over crafting materials. But the thing about when you're salvaging gear, weapons and stuff, what is this? What happened there? Did you get there? God damn. Okay. So, for example, you need to look at the affixes and prefixes of this stuff. And for example, when you want to put prefixes and suffixes through crafting, okay, you actually need the shards, right? You need prefix shards and you need suffix shards. And they drop in game, but you also get them by dismantling stuff. And you do that through a Ruin of Shattering, where it will destroy the item, creating a random number of affix shards containing its powers. So this one has a chance to slow on hit, right? Which really would be a waste. So let me see. Chance to ignite, lightning damage. Okay, you know what? Just for demonstration. Okay, that's what I did. Just for demonstrating purposes, let's say we wanted lightning damage, right? So we're gonna shatter this, and hopefully one of the shards is going to be lightning damage. So you shatter it, and there you go. +1 lightning damage shard sent to the forge. So when you craft, wrong one. Let me give me something that any affix. What was it? Lightning? So I will have it, right? Lightning damage, and I can put it on and craft it. Now, it gets a lot more complicated than that with crafting. Also, to pay attention is the forging potential, which means how many attempts you get to add an affix or a prefix or suffix, sorry. So this one has 23. Once it hits 0, you can't do anything else to it. All right, that's enough teaching. Okay. So you have to balance that with getting gold, right? So you can just sell, and the ruins of shattering, make sure when you come into the towns you grab them. They're not cheap. They're about 2,000. They're 2,000 each. So start accumulating them, because you're gonna shatter shit.
Follow your feet.
What the fuck was that?
Yes. Follow your feet.
Yeah, I doubt it, right? forgot. Ah, C. That's right. And obviously, guys, pay attention to res. Basically everything here. Fire and lightning. Actually, if I can get health, then actually it really doesn't matter, does it? Ooh, I'll take that.
Yes.
Well, guys, Darren, 4 a.m. again. Time for me to PP off. Okay, Milan, we'll see ya. Take care, Milan. And good luck.
Follow your feet.
Good luck with the cycle grind.
Greetings. Do not dwell on the regrets. May a tear a smile upon you. Farewell.
Okay, did I get rid of everything? Okay, I did. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good here. We're good here. All right, Skylord Gecko. Good night, man. Have a good one. Okay, guys, I'm going to go grab my coffee. I'll be right back. We are... You know, as I'm playing this, I think I'm going to get sucked into playing something new. But anyway, let me go grab my coffee. I'll be right back. Where's the button I'm looking for? There it is. All right. Talks amongst yourselves. right, we're back. Oh boy. We are back. You know what it is? This is way too big. See that better? Yeah, much better. That over there. All right. So, skill changes. So, reduce the total reputation needed to reach the highest rank. Now requires 3.1 million, down from 3.3. Each rank in factions also now provides 5% increased favor gain. So every time you rank up, you get 5% bump up in the rate of favor that you gain. And experience now scales less with corruption. You will now earn favor at lower corruption and less favor at extremely high corruption. Adjust ranks 1 to 10 and added 2 new ranks to the Merchants Guild and COF. Okay, let's taste these goodies. Oh my god, that's fucking good. You can now sell items you can buy normal, magic, and rare. Okay, so rank 1 is unchanged, rank 2 is unchanged, rank 3 is unchanged, rank 4, rank 5 is unchanged. Who played Merchants Guild here? How did you find it? I think a lot of people played COF, man. Okay, so COF rank 1, 2, 3 are unchanged. Rank 4 was previously rank 9. When a set item would drop, the whole set drops instead. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm playing COF. Rank 5 is unchanged. Affixes are 50% more likely to be exalted. Exiled mages drop twice as many experimental items. That's new. Ooh. Yeah, a lot of people play Circle of Fortune. Uniques are twice as likely to have legendary potential. Okay. So they bumped it up 2 ranks. It used to be rank 6, now it's rank 8. Bosses have 150% increased drop rate for any specific rewards they have. Holy shit. So when we're... Oh my god, that's gonna be the bomb. Wow. Oh my god, what a sugar rush that is. Okay, so channeled skills. Most channeled skills which prevent a mana regeneration while channeling have been changed. They no longer prevent mana regeneration, but 8 mana has been added to their channel cost. Other modifiers to their mana cost have been adjusted where necessary to account for this change. The goal for this change is to reward characters that invest into mana regeneration without negatively impacting those that do not. That's good. Okay, ailments, bugs. Acolyte. Bone Prison now has 300 base health from 500. Oh, so they dropped 200 health. Ossify now grants Bone Prism. Chaos Bolts. Sithonic Fissure. This one was OP as fuck. Chaotic Rapture now grants 13% chance per point to replace spirits with Chaos Bolts from 20. So that drops 7%. Twisted Waves now grants 1% more torment damage. Fixed Sithonic Fissure not showing a tooltip on the Warlock Mastery. Death Seal no longer has a minimum mana cost of 1. Dread Shade, Ghost Flame, Harvest. Learned Weakness now grants 20% global increase crit strike per point. Profane Veil, this was another one that they had to fix. Score now grants 5% more damage from 10. Vampiric Pool, this is the one that was bugged. Now grants 3% of minion health as ward from 4. And it now extends the duration of Profane Veil by 0.2 seconds. Reaper Form. A new node, Blood Moon Reaver, has been added. Fixed Lich Mastery, Reaper from showing an old icon. Summon Skeleton. Summon Skeleton Mage. Transplant, Wandering Spirits. Infusing Souls has a 50% chance to grant 4 mana per point. Spirit expires from 6. Mage. Here we go. Disintegrate. Gambler's Fallacy and Soul Gamblers no longer apply their crit strike chance. Its base damage and damage effect per second are now 24 and 480% from 15 to 300. No longer prevents mana regen. Lucomancer's effects have been replaced. Added a new node, Resurgence, connected to Lucomancer. Disintegrate can now begin tier 2 if you have at least 1 stack, or at tier 3 if you have amplification of 2 stacks. Tendrils now grants 34% chance to cast Lightning Blast. Escalation now grants 40% increased mana cost from 50 and now requires 2 points of Magnify from 3. Amplification now grants 80% increased mana cost from 100. Added a new node, Charged Conduit, connected to Electrify. It grants 5 static charges per second per point while channeling, maximum of 4 points. Added a new node, Unleashed Power, connected to Stored Power. Every 3 seconds when channeling Disintegrate, you cast Static Orb or Volcanic Orb. Laser Focus no longer grants 20 mana per second while damaging enemies with Disintegrate. Extensions has been removed. Added a new node, Flame Vent. In Extension's previous position, you gain a stack of Vent twice per second while channeling Disintegrate. Bug fixes. Holy shit, man. This stuff is like Elemental Nova, Firebrand, Flame Weave, Flame Rush. Here we go. Frostclaw. Colheim Ballista now grants 4% increase. Where is it? Makahoti now consumes 80% of Frostclaw's mana cost when cast this way and will now trigger at negative mana. On Through the Snow now adds 4 mana cost. Ever Onward now adds 4 mana cost from 6. So they're reducing the cost of mana for this shit. Frozen Malice. A Crack in the Ice Snow. Volley of Blast now is minus 20% freezing. Volgas now removes area attack. Strike. Ruin Bolt. Shatter Strike. Primalist. I tell you, this is like an hour of reading. An hour. Holy shit. Oh my god, look at this one. How am I going to eat this? It's a lot. Sorry, guys. "31 builds revisited for recommendations for Last Epoch 1.1 Harbingers of Ruin."
Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, we are going to be talking about a lot of builds in this video, so sit down and get ready. It's a lot of different builds, so be ready to go down in the description if there's one that catches your fancy. But essentially, the idea with this video is it has been a long time coming, because I've been wanting to coalesce a lot of my experience over the past few years into one video. So this video spans builds all the way from 1.0 all the way to 9.0 at the beginning of it. These are builds that I played either in the beginning of this patch or at the beginning of last patch as well, and I've done a lot of cycle start testing as well, so I actually have a lot more builds than I normally would at this time to recommend. And to be honest, this is one of the biggest projects I've ever taken a part of, because it's a multi-year project. I have been specifically going out of my way to play builds that have not been touched by nerfs for the most part. I've been playing things that aren't busted, aren't broken, things that are still generically strong but not giga broken or anything like that, if that makes sense.
We want
and
giga.
Now I get to finally reap the rewards as I get to talk about 32 builds in one video.
Dread,
now, I just want
I
to
want
let you know,
giga.
there are some meme picks in this video. There's a few builds I really would not recommend you start at all. I just talk about it for a little bit for not only comedic relief, but also because I thought it would be fun to talk about the failures I've had over the past few years as well. So I do talk about a few stinkers in here as well, but I do make sure to talk about if I recommend the build or not to cycle start with. There's a few of them I would heavily recommend to cycle start with, and there's a few that I would heavily recommend to not cycle start with, or there are builds that do really well later and I wouldn't suggest cycle starting with. Essentially, there's a lot of builds to talk about. This is like a lot of time coalesced into one different video. So if you haven't already, I would heavily suggest leaving a like on the video. And
yeah, guys, make sure you like the video.
That is the best way of supporting me, and just have some fun watching the video, shall we? Yeah. So for the first build we're
Let's
going to
give
be
him a
talking
sub.
about is going to be the Lazy Zoo Poison Melee Necromancer that I literally just uploaded today. Now, this build was a request. It was not a very good build in my opinion. I think Zoo Necromancer in general is just a very bad archetype right now for a multitude of different reasons, but mainly it's because the minions that you want to be utilizing are very squishy, which means you need to invest a very significant portion of your character's gear and setup into not having your minions die, because if you have your minions die, you might as well not even be playing the game. You might as well go play something else. And that's the biggest problem with this build specifically, and I will not recommend it for playing unless if you really, 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 really want the zoo playstyle, while also not putting in a lot of effort in terms of clicking.
That's
stuff.
too bad.
I did not enjoy my time with it, but if you actually like this kind of playstyle, then it's for you, but I'm definitely not recommending it to anybody. So I don't have gameplay of the new Avalanche, but I'm going to be utilizing some old Avalanche gameplay, but essentially imagine this, but 20 billion times better. This is actually going to be the build that I'm going to be cycle starting and making updates on. The idea is we utilize the new Avalanche, which is a new kind of spell where you just cast it and for a duration for about 10 normal boulders and 1 big boulder and just a bunch of pelting, and then you can actually queue up multiple boulders now. You used to not be able to queue up multiple avalanches before, but you can definitely queue up multiple avalanches now as long as you have mana for it, which allows us to turn this build into one of those kind of spam setups with a transform skill. So the idea is we take our mana bar, we dump all our mana, transform, go back into Spriggan form, and then go out, and then we're back at full mana. Then we can dump our mana bar again. The idea would be to build a very large mana bar so that we can keep doing this for a decent amount of time to increase uptime and increase damage uptime. As we get more mana, the better the build feels in general. And this utilizes also as well the Storm Stack interaction with Avalanche to create a bunch of Maelstroms, which then scale our avalanches as we get more global fizz damage per Maelstrom on us, which of course we convert our avalanche to fizz. I'm pretty sure with this kind of setup, we will get around to like 40 Maelstroms, which is around 40% more damage on top of all the other benefits that setup gives us. Another cool thing is we can focus on health regen. That means that we can utilize a Peak of the Mountain to cap our crit very easily with a 9% base crit inside Avalanche. Pretty much everything that we would ever need as this kind of build we have as being a shaman. Shaman is no longer a complete meme. It is ready and rearing to go. I'm excited to play it next patch. So the next build we're going to be talking about is going to be Tornado Storm Werebear. The idea is we cast a very large amount of tornadoes outside of Werebear form. Then we transform into Werebear, which then gives us a massive, about like 80% more lightning damage while
Holy
in Werebear form
shit.
for 6 seconds, which means all those tornadoes casting those storm bolts will get that more damage modifier, allowing us to do absolutely absurd damage. And if you like Stormbear, if you like Druid, if you like Werebear, this is the build for you. This build blew my socks off. It was probably one of the best, like some of the most damage I've ever had while leveling ever. Just everything about this build was just amazing. Not only did it feel really tanky, considering that the way we can play this build is as a ranged play style. We can be very mobile as long as we're not casting tornadoes. We also deal, of course, a lot of damage due to all the interactions and the new Stormbolt interaction with Tornado. Just all of that combined allows us to
looks pretty fun too.
To the absolute limit. You can run a one-hander and a shield if you want to get tankier. You could actually even run 2 shields if you really wanted to, technically.
Wow, he's going really quick.
Stacking route to scale your damage even further with a crystal staff with like double mana prefixes, allowing us to stack well over 1,000 mana, which
there's no war so hateful.
Friggin' ads
between kin.
Is about like I think like 300% more damage.
Sorry, Dread.
Bolts, which is great. And we're able to sustain that mana reduction due to just the rage on crit and hit on boss hit, which allows us to, you know, sustain our mana.
Look at the fucking damage.
Also, as well, it has been confirmed that the damage taken while mana, damage taken by mana, that does work while you're transformed. It does work with your rage. So there's actually another way we can go about this, where we run the new helmet, where we wear that, and then we can be really tanky because of that. And that's actually a planner that I'm going to be leaving down below, the quote-unquote finished version of this build, the one you should be going for. This is definitely a build I want to play next patch and update again, but it's definitely something I can recommend 100%. Not only, like I said, lots of damage, but you can also spec into survivability very easy with this kind of setup.
Max Roll has it too.
Build number 4 on this list is going to be Summon Scorpion Beastmaster by Cookbook. So this build is utilizing Summon Scorpion. We're spamming a very large amount of Poison Novas. This build definitely is really good. Like, it was 1000 corruption with HP in this patch, which is amazing, and it hasn't been nerfed at all. Even if then, it's been buffed multiple different ways by giving us more avenues of defensive scaling. Like, for instance, this build does not really care about its weapon as much, so that means we can actually go with the double shield idea with the new shield as an axe thing. You can do that. Like, there's a lot of different ways of abusing that specifically, but not only is it really easy to get going early on at like level like 30 something, I think I can whenever you get Summon Scorpion, and then you can just play that all the way to about 1000 corruption very easily. He did all of this in COF as well, so it's not just MG cheese. This was definitely a love, like a build of passion. This build was just, the damage on it is insane for what kind of content he's doing. Being able to just spam those Scorp Novas again and again and again, just proving that Beastmaster is going to be a force to be reckoned with the new content coming around. The next build here is going to be Void Beam Erasing Strike. This build was kind of a meme. It was mainly trying to recover from the atrocious other build idea that I had when I was doing Soul Character Found stuff, and it was just me messing around with Void Beams. Turns out, yes, you can make Void Beams do damage. Void Beams are actually getting buffed this patch technically, where all the other sources of Void Beams are going to be meeting the Void Beams from Erasing Strike. Now, the problem is the Shield Rush Void Beams, they don't stand still, they move around, which might not be good. Who knows? The Shield Rush version for clear, and then the Erasing Strike for single target might actually be good, but I don't actually recommend anyone playing
damage. Looks good.
I think there will be a better version later on once I actually put it in a little bit more effort. I will actually try to play this again at some point in the future, or you can if you think that you can manage to get the Shield Rush version to work. Who knows? Maybe it'll be great. I don't know. I'll be honest, I can't recommend this build knowing how meh it is for clear. The single target is pretty good for what it is, but it is still an Erasing Strike build. It is a Void Knight. Like, there's a lot of other problems in regards to it. I'll be honest, like, I think it's like good enough to be played and you can have fun with it, and if you really like it, you can enjoy it, but it's not something I would recommend to someone. Alright, so out of Mana Meteor Sorcerer, turns out this build ended up being really good in the patch notes. It got buffed to the moon. You can actually level as this version of it, where you utilize, of course, Mana Strike and Focus to sustain your mana early on, and then eventually when you invest into your gear enough and have enough mana from max mana, you can get to 1000 max mana, spam more meteors, and then dump the Mana Strike setup and only rely upon Focus. This build was done in like 1 to 2 days, so it's very cheap. It was in COF as well, of course, since, you know, Soul Character Found. So I think that this is probably, if you want to play Meteor and just self-cast Meteor and play around with new Archmage changes, is definitely the way to go about it for the most part. There are other builds that will probably be better. Specifically, Static Orb is better than Meteor in a lot of different ways. But, you know, if you really want to play with Meteor, this is probably going to be the build for you, at least until you invest into the new version with the mana stacking and Archmage. So this is going to be the cheapo version that you can, you know, get off of later on, at least in my opinion. Alright, so this is going to be Mark of the Rat Stygian Coal Laser Warlock. This build, surprisingly, did not get touched as much as I thought it was going to be. It got very light nerfs in terms of specific things, like a little bit of mana regen here or there with the Wandering Spirits tech and stuff like that. But overall, the build didn't get touched much other than the global ward changes, but that nerfed every single ward build up to this point instead of, this build specifically getting nerfed. Like, for instance, Vessel builds benefited significantly.
This looks like a fun
the
playstyle.
ward changes, mainly because not only is it faster to get to 4K, which is your average amount of ward from Vessel, it also means that all the other ward builds were nerfed to the point of Vessel, making Vessel inherently stronger because of that fact. Also, Vessel just has a lot of other things going for it right now, this patch, that Vessel ends up being really good. And of course, the Stygian Coal is also very good in terms of damage output, and then we combine that with the massive clear speed with the Mark of the Rat.
Yeah, but bro, you got over 6,000 ward going here.
We spread all the damned and poison stacks around them, meaning you can kind of just run around the mono and just let lasers fly. Now, is this build good for league start, for cycle start? I would not play this build until you have a decent amount of investment into it. You could, in theory, play an HP version, and that might actually end up being tankier than the Vessel of Strife version. Now we'll see, but you can play a version of this early on. It's just not going to be exactly this version. This one was a very expensive build in general, but you can make cheaper versions. Now, you're not going to be able to play Coal right off the bat, because not only does it cost a lot of mana, there's a lot of other problems with it early on. Just gearing wise is a very expensive build, but you can just play whatever else Warlock build. You can play Torment Warlock. It got nerfed, but it's not nerfed too hard to the point where you can't just use that and then level into this. You can play Ignite Warlock, you can play Bleed Warlock. Like, there's a few Warlock builds you can play and then transition into this. Also, the Lich version of this build is very strong as well, although the Lich version has worse clear but better single target. Alright, so this is Multi-Shot Marksman. So I played it. It was pretty decent for the most part, at least the cheapo version with the Smoke Bomb Traversal giving us the base crit to allow us to run Drelkor's Compass. It was pretty okay for a bow build. It's not as good as Blast Rain, although Blast Rain did get nerfed, so who knows, maybe it is. Multi-Shot did get buffed significantly in this patch. There's a lot of changes that benefit Multi-Shot specifically. Also, as well, the change to gold as well, where like gold doesn't scale much farther off, and favor also tapers off as you push corruption and stuff like that. That does mean that lower corruptions and doing them faster is superior, which makes a multi-shot look a little bit more interesting, as it can clear these lower corruptions quickly with its current setup.
Definitely don't like this playstyle.
Use multi-shot right now, but I'm going to be leaving down below the build that iCycle started. So iCycle start tested. So I got from level 1 all the way to 280C in about 2 days of playtime. And a friend of mine, Trickster, he's actually going to be cycle starting this as well. So I'm going to be leaving down his guide as well. And he's going to be giving updates on his version of the build as he's playing it. But suffice to say, if you really like multi-shot, if you really like, playing with multi-shot and playing with a bunch of arrows and playing that marksman playstyle, then this is probably the build for you. It was pretty good for the most part. Like, obviously there was problems here and there, like multi-shot in general, but like, I enjoyed it. It was definitely pretty good for me. The next one here is going to be Savage Catalyst Bleed Sabertooth Beastmaster. This is another build
what
that
the fudge
tested. Bleed Sabertooth is pretty okay. I enjoyed it. The clear was okay and the damage was good enough. It was actually pretty superb. The problem is Summon Scorpion is technically better than this, so if you care about pure power and your solo companion Beastmaster, I would suggest playing Summon Scorpion, the build I talked about earlier. But if you like the cat, then you like the cat. I can't really tell you no. I enjoyed my time with it. The scaling can go through the roof once you get better gear than I did, and Beastmaster didn't get nerfed at all pretty much in the patch notes. So overall, I think that this is a good enough build to cycle start. If you like, Summon Sabertooth, then I would suggest this. I think that, like I said, Summon Scorpion's better in theory, but this is still good enough that I could recommend it. The next build we're going to be talking about is Combustion Ignite Infernal Shade Lich. So this is another character that I saw found started.
I don't know, man.
And
any Acolyte build, I just
do pretty good damage. Unironically. So the idea here is we're summoning zombies, which are then applying Infernal Shade to themselves. And then as I summon more zombies and they kill themselves, or go and attack enemies, they will die. And then the Infernal Shade will end, which will prematurely combust the Infernal Shade. and Combust has a very large like damage multipliers inside of it, which allows us to scale some pretty nasty Ignite. This was definitely one of the better builds that I cycle started. I would say it's like the third best build that I cycle started, behind Storm Bear and Volcanic Orb Sorcerer. This would be the third one, mainly just because of how convenient the clear was with the gigantic blaze shade every so often.
Nice.
Overall, the clear on this build felt so good that like I actually really enjoyed it. I know it seems a little weird because you're stutter stepping a lot through monoliths and stuff like that, but trust me, the clear is definitely worth it, as you can scale the Infernal Aura's AoEs pretty high and make it hit the entire screen if you really wanted to. Overall, very good build, good survivability because you can do the mana damage taken as ward stuff. I mean, mana damage taken as mana before health stuff with the low life stuff. You can do that and stack mana for you know, for a lot of chunk.
I can see the sidestepping kind of becoming a nuisance.
Like, there's a lot of other ways to do that as well. Like, there's a lot of new stuff that makes this build even better in terms of uniques.
He's taking damage, though.
And it's a very cheap build to be going, of course, because you know, I played it in solo character found and I still had really good damage unironically. So overall, I could very easily recommend this build. It was a very good build and I enjoyed it a lot. Other than if you don't like that stutter stepping, then maybe you wouldn't want to play it, but the clear definitely made up for the stutter stepping, let me tell you. The next one's going to be Seraph Blade Shield Rush Flame Burst Paladin. So this build actually surprised me significantly in terms of how good its clear is. So the idea is you use Shield Rush, do proc Healing Hands, which is another melee attack, and then you do 3 melee attacks per enemy, which then, you know, can cast a Flame Burst every single time you do that. Then you can also get the Divine Bolts in it, and all of those hits equals a very good amount of clear. You can just watch screens like blow up, and you can actually scale the AoE as well with like World Splitter if you really wanted to. But I think that there's actually a better version of this build. I'm actually going to be talking about it soon, probably today or tomorrow. It's going to be a bleed version of this. It's going to be very reminiscent of the bleed Shield Rush build I played a long time ago, but it's that build but 20 times better. The crit version was okay, but it definitely wasn't like the best damage in the world. Like, we could have had better damage. I think Flame Burst Warpath is better if you want to go spell crit, but this is definitely 100% better if you want to go bleed. Being able to scale bleed on Shield Rush, Flame Burst, and Healing Hands all on top of each other means that, of course, you can deal a very large amount of bleeds in a very short amount of time, which then makes the build feel really good on single target. The build on single target this time around was like kind of meh.
Hey, entertained.
The was good, but like I said, I would play the bleed version over this. I will be talking about that, and I definitely recommend.
Yeah, it did.
The next build we're going to be talking about is going to be Thundersteel Detonating Arrow Big AoE Marksman. So the idea around this build is we utilize the auto crit nodes and the more damage and shift for your next attack, and then utilize that with Detonating Arrow to do a very large hit with Detonating Arrow. The auto crit allows us to run whatever bow we want, and this build was okay. It did okay damage, it had okay clear, but the playstyle was insanely clunky. Detonating Arrow did actually get buffed for self-cast versions of the skill because I was not abusing any of the bugs involved with the Drellcore's build, meaning that this build still technically survives, and you can move it into mana stacking, which did also get buffed. So the mana stacking Detonating Arrow version of this might actually be good, but overall I wasn't very impressed with the clear, even with all the AoE that
he's
I got.
Not recommending it though.
Didn't feel that good. Maybe in the future it'll feel better, who knows, but like maybe in MG, like Merchant's Guild, I can definitely tell you that this is a Merchant's Guild build for the most part, because the amount of gear that you need is probably going to be a lot more than playing a normal build. But if you really want to play Detonating Arrow like this, go right ahead. It was good enough for me. I just didn't like the playstyle for how much AoE that we had, because of how much AoE percentage we were scaling. It just didn't feel good enough for the investment. So I wouldn't recommend it technically, but you know, I can't really stop you now, can I? All right, another build is going to be Totemic Heart Form Swapping Frostbite Druid. I'm just going to be straight up, I don't recommend this build. It was pretty fun. I liked being able to use Warcry totems for clear, because if you don't know, they can
Scott,
like 17 frostbites per you know Warcry and stuff like that. That's pretty okay. The problem is, you know, the damage was a little bit lower than I would want it to be. The clear was fine. The single target wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it turns out Frostbite for minions in this case essentially got buffed. Like it got buffed significantly. The base Frostbite damage has gotten way higher. It like doubled, and then Snowdrifts were nerfed. This is a buff to Frostbite minions, as we were never using Snowdrifts with them because they don't work with them. So in theory, this technically has double damage. It might be good because of that. I'll have to revisit it again. I wasn't entirely happy with the performance of said build. I think specifically, I just did not enjoy the single target. The clear was fine. It was good enough because the Warcry totems, but the single target wasn't good enough. But maybe now, with of course Frostbite literally being doubled, maybe it'll be good now. Who knows? But I don't recommend it. The next build we're going to be talking about is Bleed, Rip Blood, Minion Abusing Necromancer. I'm going to straight up again, I don't recommend this build specifically. This was a good science experiment, trying to curse our enemies, pop them, and make them do a bunch of Rip Bloods. The damage was acceptable for what it was, but I will say this is definitely what I would call a Merchant's Guild build, as the requirements of gear is a little bit higher than normal, but it's utilizing gear that not many people utilize. So it's kind of awkward to like talk about it in a retrospect of cycle starting. I would suggest not doing this. This is more of a fun kind of like science build, in my opinion. It is not something you should be playing. It is something that you should
only if you're doing a science project, guys,
and then move on, pretty much. All right, the next one's going to be Aegis, Bleed, Shield Throw, Forge Guard. So if you don't know, this build is utilizing the node inside Shield Throw that allows you to bounce between minions. Then you summon Ring of Shields, bounce between those Ring of Shields, and apply a very large amount of bleed to the enemy. Now, I did talk about
what did you miss? Not much. We're just watching a video on
even after the changes to
potential builds for 1.1.
I would eventually go into Ignite.
I'm trying to get some ideas.
The superior option, as it is cheaper, but Ignite is the superior option later. Now, of course, a lot of people have asked me, Dread, is this build buffed? Yes, indubitably so. Not only are you getting an extra 75% bleed chance while wielding an axe, you are getting another 10% less damage taken generically. You are getting, I think, some other stuff specifically. Oh yeah, the node at the top of Forge Guard, you're getting block effect per Ring of Shield. You're getting more Ring of Shield creation. You're getting more minion health. Like overall, this was a huge buff to Forge Guard. The way that I talked about it before when I was playing this build was this build was good despite being a Forge Guard, meaning that, you know, even though it wasn't a Forge Guard, it didn't feel like a Forge Guard build because the interaction between Shield Throw and Ring of Shields was strong enough to carry the build significantly. Not only that, they also buffed the Smite Idols for us. They were bad. It's bad for Hammer Throw, but good for this because we weren't hitting that much and we didn't have that many Smite Idols in the setup. So this is actually more smites per second for us technically, because we don't hit nearly as much as Hammer Throw does. So that's cool. We also only need one of the idols now as well, which is cool. So this is definitely buffed in that regard as well. So like overall, I think this build is eating good. Overall, it's still getting to armor camp. They didn't nerf the armor node. And the coolest thing is the biggest problem with this build was you couldn't go hammer and anvil in the end game because it was a throwing build, and you know you can't really use those nodes because it would make shield throw cost a lot of mana and also make you take increased damage. So it was just a bad trade-off. But now, guess what? EHG did us a favor and just deleted Hammer and Anvil from existence. So I no longer have to worry about this choice and this problem. Now, of course, that sucks for every other Forge Guard out there, but for this specific build, it's technically a plus because it makes our Forge Guard build look better. And let's be real, that's all we really care about, is how good our builds look in comparison to other people's. So definitely a recommend if you want to play Forge Guard. If you really, 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 really want to play Forge Guard, even though EHG has shown that they hate it, yes, you can play this. I think the Shield Bash is going to be good too, but we're going to be talking about that at a future date. The next one is going to be Cold Dot Engulfing Vortex Glacier Rune Master. The idea is we are building around the Ice Vortex.
How can you see where you're going?
And
can't see.
We're playing this on a Rune Master. Now you play it on a sorcerer. The only reason we were playing this on a rune master
Oh
was for the massive 30% less damage taken from cold fire cold. But now that that is gone out of the game, we have really no excuse to actually be a rune master for this specific setup. So we can actually go sorcerer and get all the reductions in mana costs and stuff like that. Now, rune master is still good. There's a lot of good rune master builds, but this is definitely one of those builds that was just
it's going to be super laggy, Chris.
Sork at the time. But now I would play this on a sorcerer. Now, I wouldn't suggest this over, like, let's say static orb or glacier or meteor or anything like that. But if you want to, you know, have cotton candy all over your screen while also doing respect.
This is highly recommended for super OP computers, okay? If you don't have a 4090, don't play it.
Amounts of damage, especially considering this was a cycle start setup, right, as well. I was like from level 1 to like 400-ish corruption with this one specifically.
My eyes are already watering.
Okay. It was pretty okay, but like I said, I would play on a sorcerer instead of a rune master because rune master is not good enough for this specific build. Rune master has other use cases. The next build we're going to be talking about is Runic Gale Brand of Deception Rune Master, or what I like to call my white whale, because for the longest of time, people were complaining to me, Dread, I want to build where it's like a one button setup, where I just ignore everything and I just like slam my face into the keyboard and eat my tacos while also talking to my wife, while also watching the next season of Breaking Bad. I want to be able to do all of that while also doing competitive endgames.
Breaking Bad.
And also having great clear. Well, guess what? We finally found the build for you, and that's going to be Runic Gale Branded Deception Rune Master. The idea is this build is built around the Branded Deception at the top of Rune Master, which gives you a massive lightning dot, and then we apply that through Runic Invocations like Runic Gale, and we also apply it with, of course, as well, Static. Static, we're applying it with Static specifically because Static can give it, like, I think like an 800% more damage multiplier, which is higher than a lot of other skills currently that we have access to, and makes it just a big fat zap. Now, this build single target is a little bit lower than what you would be normally used to for a build like this, but the best thing about it is it's very mobile. So what do I mean by that? It clears really well. You run through monos and your bosses are good enough and you're tanky enough for it. Also, this is not using anything that was nerfed in the patch. I was using Vessel of Strife for ward gen, so that didn't get nerfed that hard. I was using Branded Deception, which didn't get nerfed. I wasn't using any of the crit nodes for extra ward or anything like that. I wasn't doing anything like that, while also having competitive damage and also having competitive survivability. So guess what that means? This means that this is one of the better Rune Master builds because of that. Now, of course, as well, they also nerfed how Favor and Corruption work, and Gold works as well, where it doesn't scale as much after 500 and 600, meaning that that's the perfect spot for this build to be farming in because it has good clear, while also being a one-button build while clearing. Guess what that means? It's really good for farming. So this build will actually end up reaching its pinnacle of power next patch because of all these changes. Now, of course, like I said, you are going to have to play a different Rune Master until you get to the top of Rune Master to get Branded Deception. But once you get that going and slap on the Runic Gale combo, which I thought was going to get nerfed, I thought that Flame Rush into Runic Invocation was going to get nerfed, but it didn't end up getting nerfed, so thank God. So this build still survives. Woohoo! I definitely recommend it if you want to turn your brain off and farm monoliths and you don't care about how.
I was going to say
The
something.
next build we're going to be talking about is Celestial Conflicts Ignite Sorcerer. This is a build by Poker Kid. It's an update to an old version of it where I played around with it. Now, there's been a lot of things that have changed with this build, specifically in regards to a lot of bug squashing in regards to Frostclaw, but thankfully this build, out of all of them,
this is a PoE build,
scot-free in theory, to remain the overlaps that you have, even though you're losing the 250% increased area from the node inside down in the lower right. In Elemental Nova, you just stack a little bit of area and then all of a sudden your build's working again. You also need just a little bit more mana sustain, but that can be done by utilizing the teleport trick with Meteor still, which I did with the old version of the build. So this build actually functions still. It actually does well. It's still Ignite. It kind of ignores a lot of the changes, like specifically the ward on crit changes, so you don't have to worry about that because you weren't playing a crit build anyways. And You're using Twisted Heart for ward instead, so your ward hasn't really been affected that much, and you didn't get that high on ward anyways. So this build actually ended up getting pretty pretty not touched for the most part. Like, sure,
Holy
there's some
moly.
things there, but we weren't like, it's on a sorcerer, right? We weren't using like Runic Gale or any. I mean, we weren't using
Wow.
Invocation. Like, we didn't have any of that, and also as well, we get the 20% less mana cost at like.
I gotta say, so far,
mana, so stacking mana might be a way to go.
he
with this build. So overall, this build didn't get touched as much.
he really has piqued my interest. I can't believe I'm saying this with that druid build.
Like I said, you'll just have to fine tune the mana and stuff. Like I said, the area, you just need to scale a little bit more. Now, would I cycle start this? Probably not. I would play some different sorcerer build. I would play like the Ignite Volcanic Orb build that I played recently. I would heavily suggest that. That'll be linked down below as well, which will be one of the links specifically. I would play that build and then swap into this one when you feel comfortable with it. Next build we're going to be talking about is another build that I cycle started tested, and that's going to be Volcanic Orb Explosive Ground Ignite Sorcerer. So this is probably the second best cycle starter build that I tested this patch. The idea is we play around the explosive ground on Volcanic Orb, and we apply a very large amount of ignites. This on top of Meteor, giving us the massive 75% pin, and using the teleport function on Meteor to give us you know, a bunch of mana back, that on top of mana regen that we have access to now, and all of this and all that, it ends up becoming a pretty good build to cycle start with, because the damage is absurd early on, the damage is absurd later on, and it can be used to level a lot of different sorcerer builds and then spec into something else. Or you can say with Volcanic Orb, you can actually spec into the mana stuff and then spam explosive grounds, get you know, Volcanic Orb's cooldown as low as possible, and just have some fun spamming Volcanic Orbs. You can do that, although I would say that this is definitely not the best build ever in comparison to the other Sorc builds that will exist in this patch, but it is competitive for the early game in terms of leveling, as the ease of leveling it is pretty good, as you just teleport, explosive ground, move on, and then of course you have Meteor, like I said, for the buff early on.
Well, fuck the teleport for leveling. This looks like a leveling build, like he's saying.
As well, and that was like exactly when I got the Volcanic Orb set up, and it was just, this build was just such a good ride all the way through, and it's definitely the way I'm going to be leveling sorcerers from now on, in my opinion. This is going to be the Vessel Ignite Warlock. So the idea is we use Chthonic Fissure for clear, and we use Hungering Souls for single target. Now, this specific version, I wouldn't cycle start, as it's expensive because it requires a Vessel, but Vessel did get buffed by just the fact that all the other ward builds got nerfed. So that's great, right? And of course, you know, Ignite Hungering Souls, Chthonic Fissure, overall good setup, right? But the thing about this build specifically, though, is the fact that you can run an HP version of this from like level 15 and push it all the way to this point. You could just play HP and scale that, and then eventually swap into the Ignite version. So this is technically cycle startable, but you will have to do a little bit of work and just cycle start the Ignite HP version, and then swap into Vessel.
I know,
when
Chris.
you feel comfortable with doing so. And Vessel, like I said, got buffed from like 1k to 4k ward, and then it gets a little bit worse after that. But we weren't really getting that much higher off of that. We were mainly stacking AHP in other ways. There's a lot of items that makes this build better overall as well. There's a lot of cool things that you can do in the future with this build. Ignite Warlock is definitely something I will revisit at a future date. It is definitely a build I want to play again, but it's definitely something I could recommend if you cycle start the HP version at level 15 and then swap into this later on. The whole combo, like the skill combo that I have for the most part, all really good, other than maybe Aura of Decay on the HP version. You just use the same skill combo, but you just swap the defenses to HP, which wouldn't be that big of a deal. So yeah, I can recommend this technically. Not this version, but the life version. I just want to make that clear, because some people will take that out of context and then be like, oh my god, Dread is like, you know, suggesting builds that are really expensive early on. No, I am not. I'm suggesting the HP version, you ding-dongs. Alright, so this is going to be Leviathan Carver Harvest Chaos Bolt Warlock. Don't play this build. I'm not recommending it at all. This was more fun than anything. I was trying to make Harvest on Chaos Bolt's function, and the damage was kind of there. It was very expensive to get to this point. I think if you went with like a necrotic version, you might be better off, but don't play this build. I plan on playing it again in the future with probably better tech. Please, for the love of God, don't play this build. I can probably do something better eventually, but like, I think it's like okay. It's just like, don't cycle start this. This was a complete meme build. Perry in his chat forced me to play this, so like this was more of a punishment more than anything. I enjoyed it, but it's not cycle start material whatsoever. It's not build material whatsoever. It was almost good enough, but not good enough for me. The next build we're going to be talking about is going to be Shaman Lowlife Crit Tornado Font of the Erased. So this build actually got buffed this patch in multiple different ways. We were not abusing ward like everyone else was. We were using the font damage where we were getting like, I think like 40 or like 80 ward on hit, and we were maintaining our ward that way. We didn't even have any ward retention whatsoever, and we didn't need it because we just hit that much. And this build
at least that's double version
entirely. There's a lot of new nodes in Shaman that are actually worth using. Like overall, like Shaman got giga buffed, so this build technically got giga buffed. I would not cycle start the font version, but the concept of this build and swapping it to an HP setup and then scaling that HP setup into the end game and then swapping back into the font would be the preferred way of going about this. This did take a little bit of like maintenance in terms of playing the actual build, but it was very fun when I actually was playing it, because not only did I have insane sustain, I would go from 0 to 4K ward like instantly.
Yeah,
and watch my
sunglasses required.
Like, go up and down. I also had plenty of damage, and of course the damage is going up even higher this patch as they are buffing the entirety of Shaman's tree and giving us a lot more mana regen, a lot more of this, a lot more of that. Overall, very exciting to see how this goes, but I enjoyed my time with it. Now, you could cycle start a version of this where you go.
Now,
HP,
my eyes would kill me for that.
You know, that's up to you. I think the Frostbite version actually can be really good as well eventually, but that remains to be seen. I actually made a video about the Frostbite version before 1.0.
That's cool as fuck, though.
And a lot of people told me that they had really good success with it. So we'll see if we'll see if this version's good too. Next match. It probably is. It didn't really get changed much, other than a few buffs.
How many tornadoes can you
cast? The next build we're going to be talking about is going to be Holy Winds Electrify Smite Healing Hands Paladin. This is the build that I cycle started on 1.0. And let me tell you, as soon as I got Healing Hands with the Electrify spread and Electrify Smite, it was a breeze from there. Very amazing build. The clear on it was crazy, considering it's literally just a smite build, right, with healing hands. That felt great. The sustain felt great. I wasn't abusing any of the ward shenanigans, so this build completely survived from that. It hasn't really gotten nerfed at all. Like overall, like this build is pretty much unchanged going into 1.0. Also as well, there might be some stuff going on where we utilize the new helmet that gives us Mom and then stack a bunch of mana and then get mana on smite use as well. And that might actually end up being pretty good. So we can, like, you know, phase tank bosses even further. You can push the defenses even further than you could before. You have the resistance chest. Overall, very good build, very exciting build. I'm very happy with it. You can also as well use Polaris in the offhand to increase the amount of smites you get around, which would technically improve your clear. That would also work as well, so that's a buff to the clear speed. Overall, very excited about this build. I wish I could cycle start it again, but Avalanche has stolen my heart. So this is 100% can recommend. One of the best builds I've ever cycle started ever, and it's a stupid HP dual-wielding paladin build with little EHP. Amazing, right?
It is.
So I just want to let you know that for the next section of the video, we are going to be delving deep into pre-1.0 territory. We're going to be talking about builds that I played in 0.9 but might still have potential in this patch, as either they're unchanged, they got buffed, or anything. These builds, they might be old, but they still will work and function in theory. Like I said, it's a lazy build, so its threshold of difficulty that's cold, as if you don't know. Fury Leap, everything that it does is converted to Maul when you grab that node, meaning your Maul would
guys,
also
make sure you go like his video, please.
Which will give you a decent amount of flat. The sword itself is pretty good as well with the pen and all that.
Support,
very good
support,
offhand weapon,
support,
very
support,
low
support.
LP. So being able to get a high LP one would make this build a lot better.
Bup,
Also as
bup,
well,
bup,
there's a new
where is
pair
it?
of boots. They give you up to 40% increased cooldown.
Supercharge your business with the all-new Shopify point of sale, the all-in-one POS.
Jesus, 201 to 292 corruption in 2 days?
Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic, this is going to be another episode of the Cycle Starter series, where I take a character from level 1 and push it all the way to around 300-ish corruption to test its Cycle Starter capabilities, and this one's a spicy one. This time around, it's going to be Tornado, Gathering Storm, Lightning, Werebear. So I believe that this is the most amount of damage that I've ever had for a cycle start scenario. It's actually blitheringly crazy how much damage I actually have. I think each Gathering Storm on the dummy is hitting for well over 150 to 200k. And if you don't know, that's a lot considering I'm hitting them with a lot of Gathering Storms per second. Now, before we get into like all of that though, I wanted to explain why I was making this build in the first place. So there was two reasons why I actually leveled this build. The first being a friend of mine wanted to see if there was a way to cycle start Druid in a way where like you could retain Druid's tankiness while also playing, you know, a build that has a lot of single target. And we ended up on this one. Now, another reason why I'm playing this is because I felt like Lightning Stormbear was a very good archetype, a very fun archetype, but I went and perused around YouTube. I normally don't watch other Last Epoch content, but I went and looked around, and I'm not gonna lie, the results were kind of pathetic. Like, the damage was pathetic, the clear was pathetic. It was just very mediocre content in general, and it was very, like, I don't know, disappointing, because I'm like, wait, this is such a cool concept. Why isn't there actual like people playing this? I'm like, all right, fine, let's make it ourselves. And that's what this ended up becoming. Now, with all that being said, if you haven't already, I would heavily suggest leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel, as that is the best way of currently supporting me, and it's the best way of showing me that you want more content like this on YouTube. Now, let's talk about Lightning Stormbear, shall we? So if you don't know what's going on, what we're doing is we're utilizing Tornado. Tornado is a spell that lets you cast it on the ground, and normally it does damage over time. But there's a node inside of it that allows you to cast a Storm Bolt from Gathering Storm's tree every 2 seconds. And of course, you can get a lot of frequency, so you get to like, I think, 3 Storm Bolts per second per tornado. Then you can also grab a node inside Tornado that double casts your tornado, so you get 2 of them. That's the main reason why we don't go with the attached node, because it actually halves our single target if we go for the attached on us. So I went with the double cast node instead. Now, of course, this is doing a lot of damage. Why is that? Well, one of the ways historically to get around the high mana cost of certain skills inside Primalist is to utilize a transform skill. So like, for instance, back in the day, people would play Earthquake on like Shaman or something, or Beastmaster, and they would swap into Spriggan form to fill up their gigantic 400 mana bar, right? Hop out of Spriggan form, then delete their mana bar again. This is very effective as it allows you to gain a very large amount of mana, and as you stack max mana, which is usually what Attunement's good at doing, by the way, this means that you can get a very large amount of max mana very quickly, and it means you don't have to spend a single like shred of mana regeneration. Now, we have decided to take this concept to the extreme and turn Werebear form into essentially a Diet Coke Death Seal. If you don't know, Death Seal is just simply a lich spell that lets you do a lot more damage in a very short period of time. So, Werebear form. So not only is it refilling our mana bar, but it's also giving us access to Relentless Thunder. If you don't know, Relentless Thunder gives you 40% more global lightning damage for 6 seconds after you transform into Werebear. And then, of course, we transform into Werebear, let our Tornado sit there, and then the Gathering Storms proc, and they get the more damage. Now, it's weird that I say this because a lot of people must be saying, like, hey, wait, I thought that, like, you can't snapshot like that. And no, you can. So the way that this works, to give you a lesson in snapshottery, so if I cast a duration spell, let's say like Tornado, before I walk into Werebear form, and then I go into Werebear form, and I try to benefit from the +1 flat strength spell damage for every strength I have, yada yada yada, right? That would not go into effect of the Tornado that I cast while outside of Werebear form, because the duration started outside of Werebear form. But it turns out the Gathering Storm proc, the Stormbolt proc, that happens from the Tornado counts as a new fresh cast of a spell, which honestly makes sense. That's how mechanics should work in these games, because that actually makes sense. So since it counts as a new fresh spell because it is cast and ended during Werebear's duration, that means it's a new spell, which means it gets access to the 40% more damage, even though that the Tornadoes themselves do not get access to it, which is great, right? Then we also grab the node in the upper left that allows us to get 20% more lightning damage while rampaging. This means not only are we getting the flat strength spell damage, we're also getting the 40% more damage and the 20% more damage. So we're almost doubling to tripling our damage while in Werebear form. It is absolutely disgusting, as you can see. Even at this low level at 91 with shitty gear and COF. By the way, I did not use a speck of favor this time around. I think I was at like 80,000 favor. I didn't even use favor this time. That's just how strong this build felt. So if you want a pedigree of how strong it felt, I didn't even touch the prophecy mechanic this time around, because it was just that fun and good. But yeah, so yeah, the idea is we spam a bunch of Tornadoes, turn into Werebear form, and then, profit. And for clear, what's really nice is if you look in Tornado, the lightnings from Tornado, they have a really long range. You can get like a very large range on them, and they can hit off screen. So you kind of just like sprinkle them all across the screen, turn it to Werebear, run, wait for the transformation to end for 6 seconds, turn back into human form, then do it all over again. And then you can use cooldown recovery speed to speed up this process. You can stack flat mana, utilizing, of course, the node that gives you more damage per flat mana, but it consumes mana. That does work while you're transformed because it consumes rage instead, which is completely fair, because I have to run some rage sustain to sustain those. And as you build up more flat mana, those bolts will cost more mana, so you need to like keep that sustained, obviously. And the reason why I even wanted to play this build in the first place, like I said,
I don't know, Chris, interdimensional shift is happening right now.
A lot of damage. That was the requirements that a friend gave me, and I'm delivering on it. Here you go. I think that this is going to be an insane build next patch. It's going to be a very good build next patch, as long as, of course, they don't nerf things. We'll see with the patch notes. Now, with all that being said, let's go in game and talk about the build more in detail, shall we? Alright, here we are in game with the character. Let's go over the skills, shall we? So let's talk about the first one that matters, and that is Tornado. So Tornado here, we mainly grab Charge Storm to do Storm Bolts, and we grab all of the nodes and frequency, so we get 3 per second, I believe. We also run Overcast Skies. This is to make it so that when you're inside the monolith and you place down a bunch of Tornadoes, pretty well with this, you can get the increased armor and damage, and you can use that I could go use to get gear. Helmet here, strength, attunement, eventually you want percent damage, HP eventually. Amulet here, increased lightning. You want as much gas speed as possible, so this is your best base for it. HP, you need 1 affix of shred armor on hit anywhere. That works like anywhere, to be honest. You could have it, which would be great, because then you get the like 50% more damage against single target. Weapon here, cast speed. Eventually, I think crit multi. You want as much cast speed as possible. The shotgun hit, chill on hit, lightning pen. Chest here. Plus levels to Tornado are huge. You get a +4 to Tornado chest piece. That is because there's a lot of nodes you can benefit. If you had a +4 to Tornado, you definitely want the lightning range, you want the duration, you can get the movement speed, you can get the mana efficiency, so you can spam more Tornadoes in that 4-second period or 5-second period. Go for the cast speed to cast more tornadoes. Plus
You ate a lot.
very good. Then strength or attunement, either way, those both work here because of the way Warbear form works. Then HP, you can, you know, seal off like a % spell damage as well for extra damage. Obviously, you'd want a better base than this.
And you learn why LCBO exists.
But the movement speed is nice. The ring here, yeah, it's a very good ring. The other ring, this is more realistic, way more realistic. Yeah, this is pretty much what you want. Like maybe strength. You want to choose strength over attunement when you're making decisions. If you can get strength, go for that first because that gives you more armor. But if you cannot, go for attunement. So it's very nice with this build that you can actually choose between strength and attunement here and not be penalized for it. Then for the belt here, health, lightning damage, and then eventually cleanse. Gloves here, cast speed, crit chance, mana flat, probably mana flat, strength, attunement, then the crit avoid, HP, void res gloves or whatever eventually. Then boots here, movement speed. You want one affix of cooldown recovery speed. That is because it brings it more fluid. Then for the relic board, as you're casting your tornado, you just want to chop up that HP value, get it as high as possible. Like just resistance idols and HP idols, and that's pretty much it.
It's pretty simple.
That being said, this has been Dread. I'll have to go do something else. Bye.
Wow. The only thing about that one is the leveling.
Hello, this is Dread, and in today's video topic.
You're hearing Mage will be good, then Druid Lich as the next contender. Yeah. Ooh. Boom. Did they already put out branch update? I don't think they put out. Mowing over everything, yeah. Pretty interesting. I'm only concerned about the leveling of it. There is? One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, it's this one. Forge guard, bleed bow, avalanche shatter shaman, lightning sork, ruin master spark charge. I like this one. This was pretty fun. Yeah, Forge Guard got a lot of buffs.
The Harbingers of Ruin are upon us. Cycle 1.1 is just around the corner, so I figured it was a good time to update one of my most appreciated guides of the previous cycle to the new patch, as we just received those notes as well, and here we are. This is the continuation of my Rune Master Frostclaw Elemental Nova Spark Charge Screen White Clearer. The B-roll is from, of course, the previous cycle, as the new cycle isn't out yet. So just imagine...
Oh, shit.
Welcome back, beautiful bastards. The name is Wolf, and this is one of my 3 potential cycle starters I might dabble into. This is my most experimental one, which is why I am dropping it now, so that somebody perhaps wiser and smarter than me can sway me from the path of stupidity if I am indeed going down that road. But yes, if you like the idea of having an active minion build that theoretically should be able to destroy all content and tank most things in the game, then take a look at the plan, and we'll go through it, and hopefully we can perhaps...
This got no gameplay footage.
To greater heights, or sway ourselves from the sheer level of stupidity.
Forge Guard. Fuck. Yeah, nah. I don't know about this one. I don't know if I want to fall into that, even though it got buffs. Marksman, Shaman, and Sorcerer. Oh my god. That's, you know what? That's just the thing right now, Dread Switch. Like until the shit gets out and people are actually playing the changes that are in the like 700 pages of the patch notes. Like how many pages is this thing? Like should be more builds by tomorrow. Yeah, looks like this is going to be like a last minute decision for me, but there might be a big cosmic shift happening. SamyCaps is actually considering a druid. What is going on with the universe? PoE has way more. Wow. Oh, sorry. Ooh, excuse me. I turned off the sound. My God, sorry. Anyway, guys. God damn it. This thing is coming fast and furious, and I'm even more confused after tonight. Yeah. Yeah, but Chris is right. the closer we get, more and more, like, people are going to be, that's the kind of content that's going to be dropping right now. For all the people that build characters and make guides, like, that's it. They're gonna, there's, same time tomorrow, there's going to be a ton shit more. Existential crisis, yes. Yes. Anyway, I don't want to, like, what I did tonight, it was so nice seeing everything again. Already knowing where to go and stuff is really nice. So I'm glad I didn't lose it all. So I'm very, very familiar right now. Obviously, like, I'm gonna have to, but again, it's like riding a horse, this game. Looks great, feels great. Now it's just picking the right. I have the link to my Grim Dawn build if you want to watch it. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to link it, Dante. But definitely when we're playing Grim Dawn. Absolutely. And if you're part of Discord, link it in Discord. Yeah, you're gonna get banned. Yep. Yeah. Which reminds me, I'm gonna have to do a better job. I gotta call a meeting with Streamlabs. I'm gonna have to fix her. I'm gonna have to have a little chat. We're gonna have to set some expectations with her. Oh, the link was expired? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, put it there. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Dante. Thank you. All right, guys. I know what I'm going to be thinking about going to bed tonight. Oh my God. This is crazy. I actually thought I was prepared. I kind of had 2 or 3 in mind that I was hoping to flush out tonight, and I'm even more confused tonight. Again, that goes with my problem of having FOMO. Yeah, LA dreams for sure. Okay, everybody. Thank you for watching. Please go like Dread's videos that we watched. Probably gonna get no, he won't copy strike me. Anyway, go like his videos that we watched. You guys got to support content creators. And yeah, thank you for confusing the heck out of me tonight again. Oh my God. Wow. I'm actually considering a druid. All right. We're less than 48 hours away from Cycle 1.1. It's going to be exciting. We'll talk more about it on tomorrow night's stream, everybody. All right. Thanks, everybody. Good night.